Ladies and gentlemen, this is Breaker, and I'm continuing with the replay cast from the Acer Teamstory Cup series between, of course, Team Acer as well as as well as the Team Millennium. Sorry, I almost said Mill. Wow, what an idiot I am. But here we go. Giving both players their introduction. Lower left-hand corner, I give you all Millennium Feast. Upper right-hand corner, we have AcerBly. Yes, very strong Zerg at that. Wait, what? Perhaps my memory deceives me, but I really, the European players have got to be the one group of players that I know the very least out of all of the world's players. Of course, I am a huge Zerg fan. It's just that I can't remember. I don't remember AcerBly playing Zerg. I casted him within the last week with an ops position, I'm sure. But something about him just doesn't quite say Zerg to me. But I'm willing to give weight and say that I'm wrong on that. There have been a lot of players who switched races. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but there have been a few players that have definitely switched races since Heart of the Swarm came out, and they transitioned from Wings of Liberty into Heart of the Swarm. But continuing on with this game, I'm a bit curious to see the opener that we're going to see from AcerBly, because honestly, this map, I want to say, perhaps, ZVP-wise, it would be quite dangerous to go directly for a double hatch expo, especially given the relatively close distance that it is from natural A to natural B, or from natural A to natural B, depending on your perception. Now I'm a little curious. Ooh, this is, brave opener by Feast, to be quite honest, because going Nexus first really exposes a lot of flaws. It really does. No other word to describe it. Pool going down now for Bly. He went with a hatch first opener. And we just now see the probe going out for Feast. I do believe it can, potentially yield a lot more danger. He certainly had the potential to get into a lot of trouble earlier. But I'm thinking even now, perhaps, no, couldn't be. Typically in the ZVP matchup, 9 times out of 10 you find Zergs going pool first, but I guess this is one of those exceptions where we're going to find the hatch first opener, especially given the wide openness of many expos on the map. It seems to be trending more and more as a common opener, simply due to the fact that, take Whirlwind LE, for example. Pretty wide open natural, as is this one, but I have seen, lots of pros and high-level amateurs basically get screwed over by the SimCity that's created at the natural. At least the natural here. I'm not sure if the architecture here is 100% the same or not. It's a little, it's perhaps a little deceptive simply due to the angling of, the way everything looks. You can't actually see the sidewall and pallets here unless maybe you hit delete, zoom in here, you know what I'm saying? But over here you can see it just fine, so it's kind of an optical illusion, I guess you could say. Meanwhile, this probe is getting chased down by 2 pairs of lings, and it looks like I'm completely oblivious to what AcerBly is trying to do here. He really wants to stop this scout for some reason. What could it possibly be for? I think he... oh boy, here we go. This is the critical piece of info that the probe needed to find. Is there an expo or not? He's going to see that there's not, and he's probably going to think, okay, well, there's some kind of shenanigans going down here. And if there are no shenanigans to speak of, then, it's simply a speedling opener, or not a speedling opener, but a double hatch opener into speedlings. And speaking of the third, it just now goes down. AcerCella says, oh, and with that, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of turn off the dialogue. No offense, guys, I don't want to be distracted by it. Stargate going down now for Feast. Quite the common follow-up versus Zerg, it seems. Oh, excuse me. Wow, I never would have... that was pretty simple. I wasn't expecting that, but perhaps if... it could have been a little bit worse if AcerBly had gotten Metabolic Boost to finish first. But speaking of, it's about to finish in about, 10 seconds, 13 seconds. And that's just as the Stargate's finishing up, by which we will either see an Oracle. Ooh, it looks like a Void Ray is the first unit of choice. Not necessarily to 100% guaranteed deal with the links, but of course, wow, those links coming in, sucker punching a probe and getting out, yeah. This is an interesting choice, really, because it seems as though, I don't know. Wait, where did it go? The Void Ray. Where's the... Oh, okay, it isn't out yet. My mistake. It's rallied over here, so I'm thinking perhaps, just perhaps, it's meant to be hidden. But no, it's now rallied to the Overlord. And it looks like I'm getting nothing but a bunch of happy birthdays on my Facebook, guys. It's great, but it's not that great, guys. I'm now 24 years old and unmarried. It looks like we have some Chrono Boost kind of getting slightly wasted on that Stargate, considering it has only until this point cranked out a single Void Ray, nothing more, nothing less. And Feast is kind of holding back on producing anything else out of that Stargate for the time being because he doesn't quite know just what's going on yet. He hasn't even verified that there is a third here. Hydralisk Den is going down for Bly. No follow-up just yet either. I mean, no real definitive follow-up. Void Ray. Wow, okay, I see what he's doing. He's taking the role of the Protoss Viking. Yeah, it's like, who needs Terran Vikings? These are Protoss Vikings. 3 Overlord kills already on this puppy. Oh, but now it looks like it's focusing down the wrong Overlord, and it looks like Prismatic Alignment is actually worn off. Is Bly going to lose this Void Ray? Excuse me, Bly. Wow, is Feast going to lose this Void Ray? You know, this is really, I want to say, this is something new. I think maybe, just maybe, Day 9 could find a daily to do on this. Prismatic Alignment being used to snipe all methods of Zerg scouting. Come on, I mean, like, that would be, that's the ultimate defense. I mean, sure. Once you think about it, Pneumatic Carapace is meant to negate any scouting info, or excuse me, it's supposed to increase scouting info by Protoss, or for Zergs. But I think the operation of the Void Ray in and of itself, if you just have 1 or 2 around your base, it can deny entire vision and deny your opponent from ever getting follow-up vision on just what's happening. So with that being said, we actually see Bly with the knowledge that his opponent is only on, I want to say, 2 base production. He hasn't scouted the 3rd yet. If he could get the 3rd, which it looks like he's moving out to attack, he's moving out for an attack. He's not moving out to kill the 3rd, but he definitively, because he doesn't, okay. He knows that there's no 3rd down here. That's about all he knows. Right now he's moving out to put on the pressure, and Feast is counteracting this by supply blocking him left and right, killing all the Void Rays he can. And this is the one chance that Bly has to really do a lot of damage. It looks like there will be damage done. Bones will be broken at this 3rd. The only question is, what is the extent of the damage that we will see here? Alright, so it looks like Hydras are trying to take on that. Wait a minute. There's nothing there. There's only a handful of Zealots, but instead it looks like we have Bly going in for the kill on the natural. Doesn't quite get it, but he does snipe the Forge. And this Colossus, is it going to survive? Oh, barely it will. And that Overseer is just being extremely annoying. And it looks like I really like what we see from AcerBly here to kind of substitute for the immobility of his Hydras. He actually is spreading creep there. It looks like these Hydras are going to try and go for kills on the natural. They're going to get some harassment kills here. Are they? Oh yeah, one or two workers sniped. And looks like that's about kind of, I don't know, they're playing Tango, they're playing Ring Around the Nexus. And it's kind of working, but the thing is, right now, what we see for Protoss is that his income is on a full 3 base. We can't see Bly continue to attack like this. I mean, especially with this continued follow-up tech. We're seeing a Twilight Council. What's going to be next? Is it going to be a Templar Archives? If it is a Templar Archives, we see Bly in a huge heap of trouble. We just now see Extended Thermal Lance being researched, which, for those of you who are the initiated, that would be Colossus range. And beautiful surround by the links. It looks like Bly might be able to do some damage here, maybe. The Hydras are sniping the units that are just now getting warped in, but now, you know, Bly has kind of got to back off for now. He needs to realize the situation. Behind that, he's taking a 4th, but his 3rd isn't even halfway saturated on the mineral line yet. Bly killing 10 workers over the course of this game, but I mean, really, he's got to get his own worker count up. He can't just keep it even with what his opponent has. This is very important as Zerg, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, I mean, half of those workers, not half of them, but a good deal of them were actually not even mining on the third just yet. Well, not Proxy Pylon, but there's a Void Ray kind of close to his fourth base here for Bly. He's kind of responding appropriately, but at the same time, he's kind of being super aggressive with the pressure. I want to say going aggressive Hydras can be dangerous, especially given the fact that they're not cheap. If you lose a bunch of Hydras, it's a lot worse than losing, say, okay, losing, for example, 2 Hydras is kind of equal to losing about 4 Roaches almost. But even more important because they can actually shoot up and they can kill Void Rays. They can kill Void Rays very easily as long as it is just a raw composition of Void Rays. Now with this, I'm thinking we should see Bly tech up into Hive Tech. That is not the case right now. He's actually going for... Oh, this is clever. He's actually following this up with Mutas. But the question is, are they going to be out in time? There's only so few Stalkers here. 1 for 1, I think, in Muta. You know, I think a flock of Mutas that's the size that we're going to see from AcerBly should be more than enough to handle all the Stalkers here. The question is the warping in of the reinforcements. Will it be enough? Well, it looks like we might kind of see both players go into a kind of base trade scenario, but I think we could see Bly in a favorable position in the near future. There it is, all the Mutas right there. They don't have any upgrades, so versus these, their paper thin armor is going to be taxed even more versus these Stalkers. Right now the supply count is 141 to 165. If we can see Bly basically kill all of the units that are on the ground, or excuse me, all the Stalkers, then he'll be good to go. But with the present Stalker numbers we have versus the present unit numbers, I'm just thinking it's going to be close to impossible, especially given the upgrades. And the Mutas is flying through here, through the rally points, basically. There we go. It looks like both players are going to try and take it into a base trade scenario. 3 cannons are warping in here. Colossus gets taken down. These cannons will be destroyed, and there's kind of some Stalkers warping in here, I guess, even for defense, but now we have a little bit of everything going to every single base that we have for AcerBly, because Feast really wants to put Bly out of this game. Drones are falling left and right. Income is getting hurt. And I'm wondering, yes, we do have that lower right base up and running, but the biggest problem, again, is the supply difference. We see probes being pulled in the case of perhaps building emergency pylons or maybe an emergency assimilator here or there. It can actually be quite nuts to see some base trade scenarios and how they pan out, but let's see how this one goes, guys. I mean, we have kind of this main army over here getting split up and divided. This is a relatively small number of Stalkers. I think if all of the Mutas were to come over here right now, it would yield great success for AcerBly. Yes. Great success! Not just good success, but great success! And it looks like this has finally been caught on to. AcerBly is on a, borrowed time essentially right now. The Hydras in the main should be just fine, but the Mutas are what's most important right now. If he can get in here and deal with these, oh my god, he's got to realize what's going on, but he doesn't have vision of this. If he has any Overseers left, now would be an excellent time to drop some Changelings. He does not. And, I don't know, it's just... If there's a simple technicality like, oh, okay, well, he's got DTs, well, then it could end up being GG in the near future. Here we go. This looks to be the penultimate engagement, the most decisive one that we will see in the near future. Here it is. If we can see a majority of these Stalkers get Raffle Stomped, no, it won't happen as the reinforcements have arrived, and they have superior upgrades to that of the Mutas. We do have just only about 6 or 7 Stalkers, and we're going to see, for now, Feast running back to a defensive position with all these cannons over here. Meanwhile, the lower right-hand base is being taken down, and that is basically the last structure that will prevent himself from being revealed. We're going to have another hatch going down at what would be some Protoss' third base. Some Protoss players' third base, excuse me. And now we have just... Ooh, I'm sorry. We have the probes down here just being totally assaulted, and for the next 60 seconds or so, they will be relatively safe. What we have to see now is essentially AcerBly taking very good advantage of what he has here. He's going to try and kill off Stargate. At least what's powering it, that would be a good idea, good start. And then perhaps unpowering every single building that he has. Behind this, he's re-expoing to Gold Expo, and I'm thinking this, given the circumstances right now, I think it's more than acceptable for him to do that. He only has 94 minerals, he's got 4 drones left. If he loses them, he's in a lot of hurt. Unfortunately, this Warp Prism, I believe, yes, you can see this, so once the creep has been spread from that middle gold, it will be revealed. Muta's coming over here. And oh my god, so many cannons, so much hurt, so much not love for Zerg right now. And right now, both players are at relatively no income. Oh my god, dangerous blink onto the Beautiful. Some of them do fall, and we do have a Phoenix here in the mix. That's going to make a huge difference with the engagement because, of course, they do get a buff versus light units. And now I think we see AcerBly and essentially borrowed time. Sick blink and a lot of damage being done with it. Yeah, great. There it is. Was that GG? That was GG from AcerBly. Sorry guys, I did turn off the chat for just a short while because I didn't want to be distracted. And with that being said, I think at this point, yeah, he didn't have vision of that gold just yet, but of course the Zealot did spot this one, so it meant that one way or another AcerBly was on essentially borrowed time. Can't really blame him for leaving. There were a couple of times if he had had simply appropriate vision and nothing less than that term where his Mutalisk count could have simply won him the game, but those windows of time were extremely short, and the only way he could have known that is if he was map hacking. Alright, so this is Breaker, guys. I will see you guys next time. Just go ahead and click on that subscribe button. I'll see you again. By the way, I was just kidding when I said map hacker. The only way he would know it is if he was, in fact, a map hacker, but yeah, just sarcasm. See you guys.